Alex, thanks for waiting. Sorry it took so long.
Not a problem at all, Andrew. Good talking to you.
You're on mute. Let's unmute you. And I think here, can I unmute you? No. So that's good to know. You
Looks
need
like
to
you
unmute
need.
yourself.
So I did take initiative, and I brought my business partner over here, Intuna Curry. He's actually sitting on mute as well.
I see him there.
I didn't know if it was going to be okay for us to tag team
Yeah,
this.
it's good.
But fantastic. So how do you want to start?
I'm just chatting. So what's on your minds?
Well, we have just launched. We saw your Dubim interview, which is you were talking to a young entrepreneur, and you said launch, get out there. Ugly is
Yes.
fine. Action is king. So we created a very ugly baby, ugly website, and we're all very
I love
proud
it.
because it's our ugly baby.
What is it?
It's a jobpact.com. Jobpact.com.
Jobpact.com, right?
Yep. So less than optimal as far as everything goes. We're still learning a bunch on SEO. It's been just 2 months since that's been up, and we're figuring things out. But essentially, what we're trying to do is revolutionize an old static industry, the HR and recruiting space, and allow the team members and team builders, the job seekers and employers, to find each other based on matching on what matters most to them, whether it's compensation or culture or mission values or anything
So
in
they each
between.
create their profile, and if I, as a job seeker, say that what's really important to me is having lunch, and Google says one of the things that we offer is lunch, the match is made.
That's exactly right. But there's two-sided. So if you have different profile strengths, such as you're a type A personality, but also highly creative and a mentor, and that's what Google's looking for, then essentially you wanting their lunch because they have an amazing chef on staff, but them wanting your skills and strength, that's where the match is made. It's two-sided.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So we're at the very forefront of all this, and everything has been just drinking out of fire hose from everything else with learning for it. But we are literally just trying to learn every single step of the way, everything we do. One of the things we're most curious about to get your thoughts on is we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's not necessarily like the innovation hub of the United States. Do you feel like other startups are disadvantaged for not being in Silicon Valley?
I think in some ways, yes. Now that I'm here, I could feel it, but it's so insignificant.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I wouldn't have moved here for it. And I'm in the business of connecting with people, of featuring people, and I wouldn't have moved here for just for the connections. When I was in DC, I can sit heads down and work all the time. And then when I wanted to connect with people, I'd go to a conference, and it's not that hard to go to a conference. And at the conference, I can really fully engage people and then disconnect. So it feels like you're at a disadvantage because you're on the outside, but it's kind of like if you hear that your friends in school are having a frat party and you're not there, you feel like, well, that's where all the action is. And you finally get up and you go and you realize this is it. Yeah, they're bonding over a keg stand, but I've got so much more work at my desk. You know, I
Well,
wouldn't sweat it. By the way, you have Google up on your site and United Healthcare. Those are just placeholders, right?
no, actually, those are some of the things we're kind of doing things sneaky, right? So it's not that there are customers yet, but we've done recruiting. My background and Antuna's background, we both used to be recruiters in the IT space. So those are places that we've recruited for. Antuna's had some interactions with Google, but it hasn't actually worked directly with Google. So we're kind of putting that out there both for external links and just because, like I saw one of your past interviews, just scanning by those and seeing those icons, they could potentially signal, authority in that.
Yeah, it helps a lot. And frankly, for an ugly baby, this is a very pretty baby. I like the way the site looks and it functions well. I mean, it's just a standard WordPress site
Yeah.
with a nice backdrop and clean experience. I like it a lot.
Well, fantastic. One of the things I actually want to get your thoughts on, maybe something you've learned from past interviews too, is this is going to be an interesting thing. It's kind of like the Groupon startup, to where they're trying to bring in restaurants and retailers and everything else to discount their stuff, and also bringing in the membership to buy them. We're kind of at the same point where we're trying to bring in not just the candidates, but also the employers over here, because the matching is only valuable when there's a good amount of each on that side. Do you have any resources or strategies that we can potentially reference and use?
For figuring out how to get both sides together at once.
Yeah, or start with one, then the other, or
You know what? I asked Jason Fried that question because before he was on, so many people emailed me and said, how is it that when he created Sortfolio, he was able to match both designers and customers for design, and what advice had he gotten based on talking to so many entrepreneurs? And he said, find the one that's most valuable and focus there, and then use them to bring the others in. So if for you you're finding that, I think that's it. I don't want to quote him. I don't want to pretend that I can quote him exactly, but I think the idea is that you see who's the one that's going to bring the others over. So for going back to a frat party's great, but you figure if you have men or women going to come over, not necessarily if you have women or men going to be willing to come over, yeah. So have a party where you make it easier for women to come in, like free price for women or lower drinks or something. So the same thing here. If you find that companies are fairly easy to get, but getting
Candidates.
job seekers is much tougher, then maybe that's where you want to focus. Bring them in and have the companies come chase them.
Oh, really good. That'll be an interesting point. We think that candidates might be a good opportunity, but then without having a really good surplus of employers to match with, we got to find some way to have good content. We're starting a blog, and we're both learning how to blog. And Suna's our resident visionary and blogger right now at this point, and he's learning.
Tuna, let me ask you something. Since you're the blog guy, I noticed that your URL structure on the site it's got page ID numbers instead of page names in the URLs. Was that intentional?
No, that's one of the things with the, like Alex described, the dirty, not clean-looking baby. And so that's one of the things that we're intending to eventually clean up.
I can show you how to fix that up instantly if you want to do it. It won't take more than a minute.
Oh, really? Okay.
Will you email me? You have my email address, right? If not, Alex should have it from, actually, it's Andrew at Mixergy. Email me and I'll send you a screenshot of my own WordPress site so you can see how I do it.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm doing that now.
Settings, WordPress. You know what? I was going to get it now, but I'll just get it later. It's very easy, and it's actually here. I can tell you exactly where you go. If you go into your settings, and you email me if you want help with this, you just go into WP/admin, go into settings, and then permalinks. And I would go with permalinks that actually have clean words in them.
So
Right.
I did the permalinks and ended up breaking the links completely to where the actual menu items. So you have to go back and follow through every single menu item and re-link it, or how does that work?
I don't think you do, but frankly, if you do, it's worth it.
Okay, then I'll have to go back and do that for SEO and for just cleanliness.
For SEO and, yeah, to make it easy for your users, I go with post name. Brian, what do you think of that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I just got off a call with a guy that does SEO and was giving me some tips, some easy low-hanging fruit for that. And the URL is huge. Like whatever keywords are in your URL is most likely, intentional or not, going to rank on Google for that. And if you have some funky thing like P equals 1866, it takes 5 minutes to do it in WordPress. So yeah, do it now before you put a bunch of stuff on there. You'll regret it.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, that's an easy win. And then and you can always use those short URLs too. WordPress makes it very easy now.
So here's a question that I actually didn't have written down. So I have a
Sure. And then let me just tell something to Anne-Marie here, and then we'll go to Brian next. It looks like maybe handing out the actual Google Hangouts URL to everyone might be the better. Oh, you did. Okay. So all right, and we'll solve it for later afterwards. But thanks for doing that. It looks like everyone's coming in easily. Well, sorry, Alex. What were you saying?
So here's a question. What are your thoughts on the content or contact us box? We have one of those out there, and we haven't driven any traffic really to the website. But is that the like go to? I think I have Team Matcher. It was what I'm currently calling it. That has this ugly little contact us or connect with us here. Is that useful? Should I just kick that
What do
off?
you mean by contact? I'm on your contact page where it says join the movement, keep in touch, join us in revolutionizing the way people look for their dream job, and then it's just a simple form. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, is that worthwhile, or should I just ask for their email address and start a newsletter, or how do I go about actually getting people excited and interested in the beta testers, really early adopters?
I see these as two different things. A contact box where people can actually email you is incredibly helpful.
Okay.
And yeah, I think you should definitely have that on there. And a box on the homepage where you collect email addresses is really helpful. Actually, Brian's site is a really good one to check out for that because he's advocating something that he's been experimenting with this a lot more than most people. And I think, let me see if Get Matched Today takes me to another page. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that's awful.
Yeah,
Get rid of that.
The ugly baby.
I see what you mean now. Yeah, so if I click Get Matched Today, it takes me into another page that asks for my email address, and it's a contact box. No, you don't want that. You just want maybe a simple form or even an email address, but you don't want to take them over to a contact page.
I got you. Okay, well then that's what we'll do.
Brian, actually, you and I do different things for it. Brian might suggest using lead pages where you can turn that button into what is it called?
Lead box.
Sorry?
Lead box.
A lead box, yeah. So someone clicks, and then there's an input box that hovers over. They're not even taken away from the page. Just says enter your email address. They hit submit and continue. That's a really powerful thing to do.
Awesome.
You go to, what is it? It's videofruit.com/blog or blog.videofruit.
Either one, both work.
Yeah, go to that and check out what he does. Let me see where he does it.
Check out Noah's blog, okdork.com. I think it's the second post, and I like break down every email thing I've used in the last 6 months, and there's a lot of stuff there. That'll give you a bunch of ideas.
Great.
Actually, you know what? Screw that. Yeah, go to okdork and see it, but I like blog.videofruit.com. If you click that button on the right side that says, yes, let's start the free course, you'll see exactly what I mean. And that makes things really easy.
Yeah. It's just one line of code. It's JavaScript. I mean, I don't code, and I can put it in, so it's pretty simple.
You guys are
I mean,
awesome.
you're going to have to pay lead pages a few bucks, and if you'd rather not do that, you can still, there are other ways to do it, to collect the email address on the home page without too much work.
Yeah, there's another WordPress plugin called Ninja Code, I think. It's on codecanyon.com or .net, whatever it is. And it's I used it before I used lead pages. It just doesn't integrate quite as well, but you can do lots of pop-up, opt-in stuff with it, and it's like $15 or $20 or something one
Very
time.
nice. Yeah, we're not developers. I have my brother who's actually doing some of the development work on the back end, but we have him trying to work on the matching pieces and less on the front end. So that's why the baby's still ugly.
Yeah. It's super simple.
Is it Ninja Code is the WordPress plugin?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I can find a link.
Would it-
I think it's still installed on my site.
Yeah, would you check that out? Let's see where that is.
Yeah, I'll get it
All
to
right.
you. Ninja pop-ups or something to that effect. Yeah, here it is.
What's the URL for that?
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, you did? Okay, let me take a look. Oh,
And
code.
they have 2 or 3 add-ons too, and this might actually be in it. No, this is the core one, $21, and they got a couple add-ons.
Is it an easy thing for people to use?
Oh yeah, it's all WordPress plugin, all GUI interface, super simple. You put a little
Wait, not Security Ninja. Oh, let me just click it on here and go over. Ninja pop-ups for WordPress.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's your email address?
It's alex@jobpact.com.
Okay. Jobpact.com. Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, can you buy this for Alex from us? I'll just send you. You got my card here. Try it out, and Alex, if it's not a good fit. Thanks.
More than gracious. Thank you very much, Andrew. Not only
bet.
are you just a philanthropist at heart with your content and everything else, but just with every other action. I really appreciate everything you do.
Cool. I'm glad you're coming on here.
All right.
All right, thanks. And you can hang out if you want. You could drop out whenever you want. Frankly, if you don't like this plugin and you don't want to include it on your site, don't feel obligated just because we're getting it. It's only $21, but I want to make it easier for you to test it out and not feel like there's any hesitation. And I think if I buy it, it might be easier for you to just jump out if it's not a good fit.
Thank you very
Cool.
much. I'll check it out.
All right. You bet. Thanks, Anne-Marie. I emailed you the link. Thanks. Anne-Marie, by the way, is the one who's been... so the reason that we're doing all this is because Anne-Marie put together our 1,000th interview for Monday, and we got 10 of my favorite, not my 10 favorite, but... Oh, I won't say who's on. 10 great interviewees who really influenced Mixergy over the years to come back on. And so she put the whole thing together. She asked them to come on and set it all up. And we thought, why don't we test out Google Hangouts before we invite them on? And that's why we're doing this. And earlier on, as Shane might have seen, we had some trouble, but now we're getting together. We're getting it all together here, and we're learning from the process. Anyway, I just wanted you to know why Anne-Marie is suddenly buying it.
That's perfect.
I don't want you to think there's some virtual assistant somewhere. She's just running the whole thing here, and I figured ask her. Cool. Brian, what's up, man? I was excited to see you again.